Hi guys, welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn about how to import screws and how to import bolts and nuts into our model. As you can see, we are finished with the body of the robot. We have the servos, we have the brackets, we have the wheels, but now we want to add screws. Now, one way to do this is to model the screws and the threads and everything, but I'm sure you understand that is very difficult and a long way to go about it. So Fusion 360 has a Mac Master catalog. It's just a catalog of all standard parts. So if you're looking for a bolt or a nut, an imperial or a metric, you can just easily go and just insert it. So for example, like the wheel, you don't have to model it. If there's a standard wheel size, you can just go to the catalog and just import it, or you wanted a motor. So that is the idea behind catalogs, is that we have standard parts that people have already modeled, and if you go to the shop, you will be able to get it, right? And it makes it easy. Say for example, you wanted an M12 bolt, but now you later want to change your design and you want to go to an M16 or M12 or M24 bolt, but now you have to rechange the design and design the thread. So it just makes it easy having a catalog where you can select all the standard parts. So let's go ahead and let me show you how you can add a standard part inside of Fusion 360. So the way in which we do that, we come here, we scroll over here, says insert, and then we go to the Mac Master catalog. So we click here, and you will see here it's quite a range of parts that you can get. You can get furniture, a chair, you can get a chair, pallets, you can get material handling parts. Here's the wheels that you can get. You can get a clock. All these components you can get it for free, and it just makes your designing much more easy. Say for example, you had a big design and you only needed a small motor. So rather than modeling a servo as we did, you can just come in here and select the motor and download it from here. You'll see there's quite a wide range of products that you can get. So for our product, we are interested in this section, fastening and joining. So we are interested in bolts and nuts for our robot. But like I mentioned, you can have a look around and see what else you can get out of here. So let's go ahead and add a bolt and a nut. So the first thing we would like to import is the screw. So I'm just gonna come here, click here, and then we want a rounded head screw. So you can see it gives you different options of type of bolts or screws rather that you can get, and you can either select metric and inch. Inch will obviously be in imperial, so we are more interested in metric. But first of all, let's just select the type of screw we want. So we wanted a round head screw. I'm just gonna click here, and then now you will see, let me see if I can extend this. All right, so what we want is just a simple rounded head screw, nothing complicated, something that we can find in our local hardware store. And that's another thing I want you to keep in mind while designing, is that when you're designing, always make sure that the parts that you're specifying can be found on a hardware store, especially if you're designing for someone else. If you're designing for yourself, maybe it's not such a big deal, but you might find that this online catalog is not necessarily the same as your local hardware store, and parts need to be imported from overseas, and that might add to the cost of your production. So just always make sure that the parts you're using are standard parts. So I know for sure that I can find this on my local hardware store, so I'm gonna go ahead with this slotted rounded head screw. So I'm going to click metric. And the size that I want is an M2.5. Now, usually when you do screws and bolts and nut, you always want to make the size where they're gonna fit slightly bigger, right? So that you know they're gonna fit for sure. For example, the cover for our robot here, we know that it's not gonna be threaded. We're gonna use Perspex plastic, so it's not gonna be threaded. It's just a simple hole that is gonna be profiled there. Probably gonna use a drill. So since it's not gonna be threaded, we want this hole to be slightly bigger than the actual screw, because we're gonna have a nut at the end that we're gonna screw on. So it's not really important to have this size exactly the same as this one, otherwise it won't be able to fit. So because of that, because we know that the diameter of our plate here for the holes is 3 millimeters, we're going to select an M2.5, right? So that we know it's going to fit inside. So let's go ahead and select an M2.5. You see now it's going to give me options. I can either have it as 4 millimeters, that is the length, 6 millimeters, 8 millimeters. Then the other thing I want to show you, and this is very important, is that you can go ahead and click here to see more details about this product. What is also interesting is that you can also see the value of the part. So for example, you can see this is $4, and inside the packet you get 100 screws. And then it shows you also the price of different ones, and you can do this with many products in this catalog. You have the price and you get the quantity that you're gonna get in this package, and this is called the standard. So this is the DIN standard. It's generally used even in South African local manufacturers. You can get these parts. So let's go ahead and select this 6 millimeter. Click product detail, and there we get all the details: the thread size, the length. It tells us what is the head diameter, and then very important, it shows us the drawing of the actual screw. So we can clearly see here the length will be 6 millimeters, and the head thickness is 1.5, and the total diameter of the head is 5 millimeters. So we're happy with this. And now the most important thing is that we want this model inside our design. So in order to do that, we need to save this part as a step file. So let's go ahead and look for a step file. Click save. So now we have our part inside of our design. So if I zoom in here, you can clearly see we have this part here now. So in order to place it, we're just gonna move it around as we see fit, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just first of all, I'm just gonna leave it where it is for now. Click OK. So you can see here's our screw there. Then now what I want is a nut that will go together with this screw. So let's go ahead to the McMaster catalog. We're looking for a nut. So I'm going to click here, hex nut. looking for a metric nut, medium strength, and I'm looking for an M2.5. So you must make sure that you select the same size. And here's one that is available. And the pitch is also the same. So I'm going to click here for product detail. And then I can see the thickness is about 2 millimeters and the total is about 5. I'm happy with that. Then I need to download the step file, click save, close here. Alright, we can see the part now. I'm also gonna move it over that side so we can clearly see it. So we have it there, just gonna leave it there. Alright, so now we have our screw and we have our nut, and we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places where we need to place it. So let me go ahead and create a joint to place my component. So in the way in which I do that, I'm gonna type in J, I just want to make it concentric, so I'm just looking for the center. I'll leave it there. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the nut. Joint. Select the surface, make it concentric. And voila. So now all you have to do is do the same for this side and this side and this side, this side and this side. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, but I'm sure you get the gist of it now. That's it for this lesson, and that's how you import standard components. In the next lesson, I will show you how you can import models from outside of Fusion 360. Say for example you have a part that you downloaded from the internet, or you're looking for a standard part. For example, in this example, we're designing a robot that works on Arduino. So do you have to model the Arduino yourself, or you can just download it from the internet and import it into Fusion 360? So the best way to go about that is to get a standard file. So if it's not on the McMaster catalog, you can go on the internet, download a file, and then import it here into Fusion 360. So in the next lesson, I'll show you how you can do that.